pa mo kadungog. Kisay nakadungog na kay Sister Madonna. Ubay-ubay. Okay, ubay-ubay nakadungog. Alright, Sister Madonna is actually a Catholic nun. Right? And she spent all her single life in the convent. So when she was 40 years old, she became really big. Nadako gid siya kaayo sa katanan. And then di pa naman siya robe ng mga madre. Kanya sayang robe kay dako gyud kayo nga na-chismis gyud siya sa convent nga buntis daw siya. Suko kay siya sa ngatanan kay madre ba ikaw niya chismis ka nga buntis. Tama? Right? So sa iyang kasuko, nangumpisan siya katos pare. Yan ang sulod siya dito sa kumpisalan, ingon siya, Father, pasaylo ako kay suko, kay ko sa ngatanan, agpig kasukan. Ano naman, Sister Madonna? Kaya nag-ingon sila, buntis daw ko. Kabalo mo sa ingon sa pare? Ask me what? Anong pare? Hala, kabalo na dahil sila. Joke lang. Wato'y labot. Wato'y labot. Alright? And then suko kayo siya dito, she was so furious, niya ingon ang pare siya, Sister Madonna, instead nga masuko ka, gamitan na lang na para mausap ang dagan sa mong kinabuhi. Isn't that what we're supposed to be doing, right? Yes? Yes, all the setbacks in our lives can actually become a stepping stone for a new direction or new things that can happen in your life. Yes or yes?
Yes.
Alright, so here, the priest said, Sister Madonna, I think it would be best that you respond positively to this situation. And the way to respond, I would advise that tomorrow, you grab your rubber shoes and start running. So, pagkaugma, napa siya i-robe sa iyang pagkamadre, nag-rubber shoes na yun siya, na-realize niya di yun siya kadagan. So, naglakaw na lang siya. So, for 1 week, she decided to walk for 1 kilometer. And she realized that 1 kilometer would not take you 20 minutes, right? And so the following day, she added another kilometer. So for 1 whole week, she was actually walking 2 kilometers. And then, she added another kilometer after 2 weeks. So at the end of the month, she was already walking 5 kilometers every single day. Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
And guess what? After 6 months, she started running. Because she lost a lot of weight, and now she started running. Are we here? So, and not only that, she became very passionate about running and about the transformation she was experiencing, that she actually joined in her entire, remember, she started when she was over 40 years old, right? And then eventually, she, without any exercise, she lost weight, she changed her life, and then eventually what happened was that she joined marathons. And in her entire lifetime, she had over 50 marathons.
Wow.
No, I'm wrong. She actually had over 350 marathons in her entire lifetime. And guess what? Over 45 of those were Ironman triathlons. Are we here?
Yes.
This is a woman who had never had exercise in her life, but eventually she transformed herself. You want to see her photo?
Yes.
This was her photo when she was already 88 years old. And at 88, she was still running. And she's now 91 years old and still running. And there's a beautiful story also when she was 70 years old. So when she was 70 years old, she decided, i-treat na ko akong kagulingon mo ato kog Hawaii. Pagabot niya dito sa Hawaii, wala gid kay sa iyang una-una to kay treat ra niya for birthday. She saw this poster on a health shop that says that there was going to be an Ironman triathlon in Hawaii. And we know that that is one of the most difficult triathlons if you read about it, right? Yes, kisay ka triathlon diri. Tama? Ironman Hawaii is one of the most difficult because of the, windy, tapos hills pa yun and all. So anyway, and she joined, right, at 70 years old to celebrate her birthday. So ang naitabo ato, something happened when she was biking uphill. Okay, when she was biking uphill, kusog kayo ang hangin. Ang first nga hangin ng sapak saya, na-feel gini, it was so strong. The second time around, another round of wind slapped her and it moved her to the side. And then the third time around, layo pa lang, madungga na niyang hangin. And when it reached her, eventually it threw her from the ground. And Sister Madonna became a flying nun. And then she landed on a rock and broke her hip. Get that? Gidadayin siya nga to sa ospital. And then para di mademanda ang mga in America, you know America, right? Kung na may tabong aksidente, baguon yun yung policies, kaya if the same policy ang inyong ipadagan, pwede na mo i-demanda nga na may precedence of an accident. Yes or yes? Yes. So they had to change everything nga dapat ang mo-appeal og Ironman Hawaii up to 65 years old lang. It was actually that accident of Sister Madonna that changed the rules. So that 65 na lang ang maka-appeal og Ironman. Are we here? So nasa sa hospital, she heard about the news. She became so furious. So kay siya sa ngatanan. Kaya siya, it had nothing to do with my age. It was just an accident. I can prove it to you that I can still join the triathlon at this age. But nevertheless, it was final. Anyway, when she was 71 years old, she went back to Hawaii. Asked me for what? Another Ironman triathlon. Kahit ulo ang tiguang. Okay? And then she registered, and they said, I'm sorry, ma'am, you cannot join anymore. And she said, why? Because, remember your accident? You actually changed the rules. And they said, but it had nothing to do with my age. And she already knew that she couldn't register. And she said, can I grab one of those? And she grabbed one of those mga dinasuot nila. And she said, can I just sign a waiver and just join the run on the side anyway? And you are not accountable for anything. I'll sign a waiver, you're not accountable for anything. Yan yung sugot man ng organizer. Kapag kayo ang gibuhat, she said, I'm going to prove to the world that a 71-year-old woman can still finish an Ironman triathlon. Wow. So she invited a lot of media production, mga TV stations, radio stations, newspaper. So the whole time she was competing, they were following her. And the whole world began to notice that yes, a 71-year-old woman can still join an Ironman triathlon. Wow. Isn't that amazing? Remember, she never had an exercise a day in her life when she was 40 and under. But this time around, she turned her life around. Now, question, would you like to see Sister Madonna in action during that triathlon?
Yes!
Would you like to see her?
Yes!
Galing lang, kani si Sister Madonna, kaya di siya magpakita. Kaya tawagon ako siya taon-taon, pero di siya magpakita kung di daw niyo siya palakpakan. Kaya di pa daw level 10 yung palakpak. So everybody right now, I want you to stand on your feet, come on. And I want you to cheer for Sister Madonna. Come on everybody. Hello Sister Madonna, are you in? Alright, ladies and gentlemen, come on. Imagine this is you running for your NDC, for your next diamond directorship or gold directorship. Are you ready? Sister Madonna, show us what you got! Come on guys, come on! Now here's an interview of Sister Madonna about the secret why she was able to accomplish that. All right? And I'm sure you want to see this. Watch this, ladies and gentlemen. Sound? I can hear a little, but not enough.
Plus a long swim before that. But you know, the more you object to something, sometimes it kind of haunts you. Well, I got haunted.
Here she comes then, folks. This is Sister Madonna's daughter. 90 years old, 45 Ironman triathlons under her belt. The Iron Nun. 2020 Marathon Triathlon.
Well, first of all, you have to have the 7 Ds to succeed in anything. You have to dream, and from the dream comes the desire. From the desire comes the dedication. From the dedication comes the discipline. From the discipline comes the determination to dare to do it. I actually got into triathlon through running, and I was introduced to running by a priest, so I entered some more running races, and from that met a friend who had gone to Kona to do the Ironman. And when he came back from Kona, he said, "Sister, you've got to do this." I said, "Do what?" He said, "Well, there's a 2.4-mile swim and 112 miles of biking and a marathon on top of that. And it's in Hawaii." I said, "What?" And then did about 45 Ironman since. Well, that's one thing I'll never understand. How a little old lady can be an inspiration to anybody. I don't understand it, but I don't have to understand it. I just want to do God's will. And if God's putting me out there to be an encouragement for others as they advance in years, I accept it. And I don't understand it, but I don't have to.
All right, beautiful. That's the power of having a very strong identity, right? Yes, a very strong sense of purpose and spiritual quotient as well. She mentioned her 7 Ds to become successful in life. You need to have a dream, and then that dream will stimulate a desire, and dedication, and discipline, and determination, so that you will dare to just do it. All right? And that's exactly what you need to be able to move forward the 7 Ds of Sister Madonna. Now, here's what I really want you to accomplish tonight. All right? There's a difference between being future focused and past focused. Now, do you think the meaning that you attach to your life would make a lot of difference depending on whether you are future focused or past focused? Do you get that? Do you get that?
Yes.
My point is simply this, okay? You've got to see the future. Are you seeing your future in the light of your pasts? Because that is very disempowering, right? If you have a very bad past, if you have a disempowering past, and then you start to see the future in the light of that, then you will have a very limited future. Yes or yes?
Yes.
But yet, a lot of people apparently think of your future that way. Tama? Pagkaplano sila sa ilang future, the reference that they have is actually their past. And because they have a lot of failures in the past, that is why they can dream big enough for the future anymore. Now, what I'd like to propose is this. I want you to start from the future. Be focused in the future. Are we here? And by the way, that's the function of your cortical cortex. Your cortical cortex doesn't need any data. It doesn't need your memory to create the future. Are we here? It is very independent that it can actually paint, create, and see your future, regardless of whatever your past and your present is. Yes or yes? And you have that power within you. Kaya lang, if you are always past focused you will not be able to have that activated in you. Are we here? Then I encourage all of you right now to starting from the past. To stop starting from the past and begin, the architecture of your future from the future. Yes or yes? Now you can simply imagine, what's my ideal future for you? Right? What do you want about your future? And then, if you can already see a projection of your future, then begin in the present. The wonderful thing about our cortical cortex is that, our cortical regions, is that we can actually see the future and make that influence our decisions in the present. You can make decisions in the present, what to throw away, what to keep, what to accelerate, and what to start, and what to stop, right? Depending on the future that you want. Yes or yes?
Yes.
And you have that within you. You don't have to be a victim of your circumstances. You have within you right now a blank canvas to begin with. So ilapay na lang ninyo ang mga drama. Are we here?
Yes.
Because you have a blank canvas right now to begin with. And if you begin that, begin from the future. Now this is what we will do. We begin from the future. Come on, everybody, imagine your future. What is it that you want about your future? Write them down on your paper. Come on, everybody, quickly, go. Write down everything that you can imagine about your future. Do you imagine yourself in a nice house, in vacation, as a speaker, influencing other people? What do you imagine about your future? Making an impact to society, or having your own family, your own children, having financial freedom. All of that. I want you to project yourself to the future and start. If you were the architect of your future, how would your future look like? If you were the architect of your future, how would your future look like? Come on. And you can definitely choose what your future is going to be, regardless of whatever situation you have right now. Do not be limited by your present. Alright, everybody stand on your feet right now. Meet up your groups of 4 or groups of 3. Everybody stand up. Come on. Stand up, and I'm sure, because I want you to exercise expressing your future, capturing that by sharing it to other people. But this time around, I want you to be extremely excited about your future, as if you are starting with a clean canvas and you can exactly decide how your future will look like. Okay? Are you ready? Alright, groups of 3 or 4 right now. Groups of 3. Alright, okay. Everybody right now, do you have your groups now?
Yes.
Raise your hand. Everybody raise your hand like this. Raise your point finger like this. Rotate it. And look at the members in your small group. And I want you to point that finger. Alright? And whoever that person is will begin to talk. And then clockwise, point that finger right now to the person in your group that you think is going to be the next millionaire. Start sharing your future right now. Go! Per person.
As the CEO of Team Tech, not only here in the Philippines, the whole Asia Pacific, I will have an office there, impacting, of course, and helping the community, the life of people. I have a new house, car, and I have a
the story we used to believe in, right? Alright? Of course, you cannot deny what happened in your life. You cannot deny what happened during the pandemic. You cannot deny what happened recently. Whether you like it or not, they are already part of your memory. Yes?
Yes.
But you can actually rewrite your memory.
Yes.
Because how it is stuck into your memory, the events and situations that have been registered in your memory are simply